This is Leicester Square. I used to think that this was the centre of the whole universe. When I first arrived in London, I would come down to Leicester Square just because it gave me such a thrill and such a buzz. And now, like, our film premiere is going to be here. I can't believe it. And they're putting up a huge tent. It is coming together. I can't believe it. It's kind of like now it's off. It's like the horse is bolted. There's nothing we can do. It's kind of scary.
The plan is to make the most eco film premiere the world has ever seen. Genuinely eco, that is, not greenwashed. So for starters, we've got teams of volunteers out on the streets of London collecting newspapers which are going to be burned for the heating.
You alright?
I'm afraid I've got bad news for you. Even though we have got permission to burn these logs, which is why you've collected the papers, which is why you're making the logs,
yeah,
they've just taken away our right. We're not now allowed to burn these.
We're not using the logs? What?
How can they do that? But the stoves are smokeless stoves. The stove's fine for smokeless stoves.
Don't blame me! It's not just a film premiere tonight. We're also going to be launching our Not Stupid action campaign, which aims to turn 250 million viewers of the film into active citizens and get them all focused on the crucially important Copenhagen Climate Summit, which is in December this year. And we've just heard that the Climate Change Minister for the UK, Ed Miliband, is definitely coming tonight. So we've planned a little special Copenhagen surprise for him. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's so much better than I could ever imagine. Wow, it looks fucking awesome. I mean, it looks awesome. I was really imagining kind of a marquee, you know, like army tent thing, not like space age. Oh my God. Unbelievably, we're not going to be plugged into the mains at all tonight, even for the TV lights, the cameras, the projectors, nothing.
The sun is just keeps on coming out every time we open it.
It's a 9,000 lumen HD projector. This is running straight off the solar setup now. We just powered it up. So these are big 2-volt cells. So there's 12 2-volt cells, which gives you a 24-volt battery bank. And these are powered directly from the solar array.
We tried to persuade a famous presenter off the telly to be the host of tonight's event, but we couldn't find anybody suitable. So Lizzie and me have been volunteered. We're going to be speaking live, that's going to be filmed, and then it gets bounced up via the OB truck up to the satellites in space, and then bounced back down to 62 cinemas all around the country.
In fact, Guinness Book of Records have just confirmed that it's going to be the largest simultaneous premiere in history, which means that we've got 16,000 tickets to sell. We were struggling at the beginning, but it's really been picking up. Quite a few of the cinemas have sold out, and I think we're over the 50% mark, and we've got today to go.
4 stars in the News of the World, which says that The Age of Stupid will come as a deeply inconvenient kick up the backside. It doesn't patronise, there are no Michael Moore-style cheap plays for emotion, and no Al Gore finger-wagging dullness. It's easy to be flippant about climate change, but the threats have never before been spelt out as clearly and convincingly as they are here. You won't see a more important film this year, The News of the World. But now we've got to go and talk to somebody much more serious, which is the BBC World Service, who've brought this funny little van to talk to us. Check out.
Yeah, hi studio, I guess it's in the car now.
What this is about is that our actions now are going to kill hundreds of millions of people. That's what it comes down to, and so it's about the moral, the moral issues of that.
And how did a woman with only one documentary film under her belt, no film training, manage to persuade Pete Postlethwaite, a famous actor, award-winning actor, to be in her film?
Just did the 12 o'clock news, jumped on the back of a motorbike, which is more environmentally sound than a taxi, but more importantly quicker. Tell me about that first day and how you got sucked into this project.
I turned up and Franny, the director, Franny Armstrong, said that we haven't got much money, but we've got a little caravan for you to change into and get made up. So I said, hang on, it's a voiceover, you don't need all that. He said, no, it's not, you're on camera.
As it says in the film, we've got about 7 years left to stabilise global emissions. At the moment, our emissions are going up and up and up. All the Kyoto Treaty, all the talk has achieved nothing. Obviously, we couldn't just buy a green carpet for our event. That would be far too easy and not at all eco, so it had to be recycled or reused in some way. which proved to be pretty tricky, but just at the last minute, literally yesterday, a guy called Astro Man came out of the woodwork and has lent us a great big chunk of AstroTurf. We also found a good solution for the newspapers that we weren't allowed to burn.
The Age of Stupid has battled for years to make it to its green carpet premiere tonight, hailed to be the first ever powered by solar energy.
We're a student-led team. We've built this solar power vehicle and we've taken it from Land's End to Drenno Groats. That took place last summer. And we're here to help promote The Age of Stupid, which sounds like an awesome film, and also to raise awareness of all the environmental concerns.
All our guests have to travel by low-carbon transport, so bikes, walking, rickshaws, public transport, chip-fat cars. And obviously we have a very strict no-flying policy because, unbelievably, if just one person flew from LA to London, that would be more emissions than the entire rest of the event put together.
It's very difficult to get across a serious message in an entertaining way, and Franny has completely cracked that. And having Pete Postlethwaite, who looks like, you know, he's lived through the greatest tragedy of the human race, you know, it's great.
I think it is a slow process. 10 years ago I was flying all around the world doing film after film. No idea about my carbon footprint. I didn't even think about it. I'm swanning from Heathrow to Tokyo to LA to whatever. It's just extraordinary. Now I think very seriously.
I've been conditioned to love all the things in this world that are wrong. And then the real thing, then the real thing, then the real thing comes along.
So I know the cinema here in Leicester Square is being powered by solar energy. Yeah, but once it goes on general release, it's going to be in conventional cinemas.
Hopefully.
Doesn't that mean Greek intellectuals are pretty patchy?
Yeah, we saw some people's ideas about capitalism as well. They're pretty patchy too. I think trying to pick holes in what we're trying to do in terms of green credentials is a nonsense.
We had a team of dedicated eco-auditors checking absolutely every part of the event and driving, it has to be said, driving the event managers mad. More than 1,000 people have worked on just getting this premiere together tonight. And, you know, this is our generation's moment, isn't it? The moment that's going to define how we are remembered in history. And personally, I feel we are going to get our act together in Copenhagen and we're going to prove that we are not stupid. Hello and welcome to Eco Leicester Square. Woo!
We started making an eco-independent documentary about climate change about 4 years ago, and somehow tonight we're having our premiere in the middle of Leicester Square.
Not just in Leicester Square, but simultaneously, we hope you're all watching in 65 cinemas all around the country, including the Eden Project.
We're here to see The Age of Stupid.
I hear you've been twittering about our film.
I've been twittering and blogging about your film since a piece in The Guardian, was it? Or The Observer a couple of weeks ago.
You haven't even seen it?
No.
And you're already talking about it?
I've talked about it because it looked interesting and the concept was interesting. How you made it was interesting, so I just thought it's going to be interesting, and then here I am.
Politicians are frightened to tell people, you know, oh, you won't have to be able to travel, you shouldn't travel so much by air and all of that. But if we don't make these changes, then there isn't going to be a world for our grandchildren.
Can I just apologise on behalf of all Londoners for voting you out as well?
The good news is that we understand what to do.
Yeah.
It's very clear what we have to do, and the low carbon economy is quieter, it's safer, it's more energy secure, it's more biodiverse, it's just much more attractive. So we know what to do. The challenge now is just the decisions to do it, and that's what we have to do in Copenhagen.
You've obviously made some of the massive big films like The Killing Fields and Chariots of Fire. Do you personally believe that films can change the world?
Very much so. There's no silver bullet, no one film changed the world, but by keep chipping away and just reminding people how important society is and doing the right thing is, yeah, it makes a difference.
This film is so powerful, and it makes you take a very serious look at your life and what you are contributing as an individual to the global problem. And I just think it's fantastic. I think that everybody should see it.
Okay, and let's let you watch it in the cinemas around the country. Play the film.
I thought it was an incredibly well put together story because, first of all, it gripped me, which is the most important thing. It didn't make me feel bleak and hopeless, but it did impress upon me, you know, the sort of Damocles hanging over all of our heads.
It's just devastating, the realisation of it, and it was very upsetting just watching, thinking this is really what's going to happen.
So you've made lots of films. Obviously, all of the others have been a lot bigger budget than this one. But how would this one compare to your other films, do you think?
This one is one that had to be done, really. One that had to be said, had to be faced, and had to be fronted. And I'm very proud and honoured to be part of it, in a way.
First question is for Piers, Guy, the wind farm developer in the film. It's from David, from Braehead. There were people in Braehead. Excellent. Okay, and Piers, the question is, what happened to your wind farm and did it go through?
We're starting it again. We're giving it another try. But we did get another wind farm through last week.
Oh, yeah?
17-3 in favour at the planning committee.
How are we doing in terms of global emissions so far? Going well?
It's not going brilliantly. We're just above the worst case scenario in terms of emissions, so the scorecard is significantly negative, you could say.
But it's not all bad news because we're going to make a very, very exciting announcement via a video link from the Maldives.
Hello, my name is Mohammed Nasheed and I am the President of the Maldives. Today, I can announce to you and the world that the Maldives will be the first carbon neutral country in the world. We hope to be, and we have planned to become carbon neutral in the next 10 years, and we feel that we can achieve it.
So, Ed Miliband, Minister for Climate Change in this country. Maldives is an undeveloped poor nation. They're going carbon neutral in 10 years. When is the UK going carbon neutral?
Let me start by saying that it was an incredibly moving and brilliant film and to congratulate you. And I want as many people as possible to see this, to know about the effects of climate change. In terms of your question, we've said we're going to cut emissions by 80% by 2050.
Which is, as I'm sure you all know, a fantastic piece of legislation. And frankly, we gave the Maldives a round of applause. Our government also deserves a round of applause for the Climate Change Act. 80% cut by 2050. The best in the world. Well done. But that is the talk and that is the promises. And that is 2050, and that's a very long time away. What about the reality? Mark? Sorry, we didn't mean to pin you in. That was a microphone issue.
I think we all agree that the Climate Change Act has been path-breaking for the whole of the world. But there are some really disturbing short-term things happening here in the UK. We're expanding the motorway network. We've just said, the government has just said yes to the third runway at Heathrow Airport, and potentially we'll be saying yes to the first new coal-fired power station for 30 years in this country at Kingsnorth in Kent. And coal-fired power is, of course, the most carbon-intensive way of generating electricity that we know. So I would hope very much that you'll be able to tell us now that the Kingsnorth decision will be a no.
I can't watch it there, but let me just say this about coal, because this is a really important point. I don't think we can carry on building unabated coal-fired power stations in the way that we've done. Absolutely right. But we have a responsibility also, which is to show that we can use the new technology, which is called carbon capture and storage, which reduces emissions from coal-fired power stations by 90%.
Ed, we've made you a special pledge.
Oh, that's nice.
And everybody in the room has got their own copy of this. They're being passed around now.
Thanks for giving me warning in advance as well.
It is true, Mr. Miliband, you're right, but it was thrown on me as well pretty quickly. But in these days of spin, we have to spin pretty quickly. I've had enough of promises. We tried to get Mr. Blair not to go to Iraq, and he went to Iraq. 2.5 million people walked in the streets of London. We weren't heard. We're not having that again, and we're not going to lie down. So, dear Mr. Miliband, if you commission a new dirty coal power station at Kingsnorth then you are clearly unfit to represent the people of Britain at the Copenhagen Climate Summit. And therefore, I promise to, my first thing would be to very sadly return to Her Majesty the Queen the OBE that I was given in 2002, because I don't believe that I can be a real officer of the British Empire if that is what's going to happen. So that would be mine there. OBE. The OBE goes back. Unfortunately, I would never be able to vote for the Labour Party again. And I want you to tell that to the party and to Mr. Brown and any of your other cohort.
Now, Pete, we would like you to officially start our campaign by launching the countdown clock to Copenhagen.
So, as of March the 15th, 2009, we have precisely 266 days, 12 hours, 58 minutes and not many seconds left to turn the whole ship around. Other generations ended slavery or got rid of apartheid or even landed on the moon, all of which were perhaps easy compared to the scale of the task in front of us. We've left it terrifyingly late, but there is just about still time, so